Harnds makes some pretty cool knives. This is the Harnds Revenant, and it's one of my favorite budget folding knives. But it's not the only one I've tested. These both are the Harnds Shark I tested a while back. And we have another one, which might become my favorite, EDC fixed blade. So let's open it up and check it out. As you can see, it already pops out. Here it is. But let's see what else we have. Here are some screws. There's a pocket clip, which is pretty cool. Is not that usual to include one, but we'll test it out. Then we have a paracord, and that's it. So let's open it up. This is the Harnds Eggplant. That's what it's called, and looks quite nice. And here it is. This is super small, but the handle, even though I have fairly large hands, actually feels pretty nice. I was unsure how it will feel, as this super compact. It's very small, but it feels actually really nice. When it comes to what we have, it has both a G10 handle and a G10 sheath, which is not that usual and is pretty cool. The only other knife with a G10 sheath is this 2-knife crescent I have. So I'll compare them also side by side, as they are quite similar. And 2-knife and Harnds are pretty much the same company, so that's in case you're wondering. And when it comes to the blade, this is a D2 steel blade. It looks quite nice, feels quite sharp. We'll test it in a bit, but when it comes to the size, it actually weighs only 62 grams, has an overall length of 136 millimeters, and a blade length of 60 millimeters. So yeah, it's pretty compact. But let's see how it feels while cutting. Actually slices very nicely. Let's try it with some paracord, some rope. Cuts very nice. And with this one, even though the size is very compact, you can also twist it like this. Need to get used to it to not cut myself. It's like a fidget spinner. Quite nice. But back to the point. Now let's see how it will handle cutting a thick rope like this. Let's see how this goes, as the blade length is not that much more than the diameter of the rope, which is about 22 millimeters. So actually really nice. I was actually quite surprised, as you can see the size difference of the knife and the rope is not that much. It's almost half the size of the blade length, so there's very little movement, but they cut through very nicely. So it slices very nice. But now let's see how it will handle zip ties. And again, it cut through like nothing. Actually slices very nicely, quite surprising. I was not expecting it. Let's try and split them like this, see how it feels. Quite nice. For such a small knife, feels really nice. And these are the thickest zip ties I have in my local hardware store, so they're pretty tough. Some knives have really struggled with them. Some knives have even not been able to cut them at all. But this one is pretty nice. Feels quite nice. Let's try it also with a cardboard roll. Let's put it here. The blade length is almost the entire roll. Let's try and not cut myself, but it sliced through very nicely. The size doesn't fully allow it to cut both sides, but still cut quite nice. Let's try it with slightly different paper. Slices very nicely. Even after all of the cuts, still feels quite nice. And to compare the feel, let's also compare it to the stun knife crescent. And when it comes to the feel, even though the eggplant is smaller, as you can see, also says eggplant on the knife, so it's the model name, so that's what it's called. But even though it's smaller, I actually prefer it. Feels quite nice. This one also feels quite nice, but the handle geometry somehow works a bit better on this one, at least for me. Everyone has their own preferences, but for me, I actually prefer this one. So now let's see how it fits on your pants. Let's put it on the belt with the belt clip. See how it looks. You can see, looks actually quite nice. I like the yellow pop, so if you like everyone seeing what you're carrying, this is the way to go. It will pop quite nicely. So feels overall quite nice. It has the same belt clip as the 2-knife crescent. Let's put them side by side if we can. As you can see, they both have the same thing, that if you want to deploy the knife, you need to hold the sheath like this, as otherwise you'll take the whole thing off. So you need to hold it like this, as these clips don't have a hook on the end, so they slide off the belt. But with this one, it came also with a pocket clip, which is quite nice. I believe I like it a lot better. So let's try and switch it out. Don't know if you can see it at all, but I'm unscrewing these 2 screws. And in the same way, you can also switch it out to any position you want, so you can adjust it. As you saw, it's pretty easy. Simply unscrew the 2 screws and you're good to go. But now, let's put on the pocket clip. Let's put it at an angle like this. Let's test it out, how it works. And here it is. Looks quite nice. So let's put it on and see how it holds. I did actually put it on the reverse side I wanted. The idea was to have it at an angle so you can pull it out like this, but in this way the blade is towards me, so yeah, I'll need to flip it over. But the clip actually feels really nice and sturdy. I actually prefer it to the belt clip. Feels quite nice. But yeah, let's reverse it and test it one more time. And here we are again. Hopefully this time I did it right. And seems like it. So I put it like this. Actually really like the fit. The pocket clip seems quite sturdy. And as you can see, as I put it at an angle, it is more covered. And in this case, if you carry it on your side, you can simply pull it like this and put it back quite nicely. It's pretty concealed. Of course, the yellow pops on it quite a lot, but it's still pretty discreet, I would say. The pocket clip is fairly sturdy. You still can pull it out like this, but still feels pretty decent. And here's the knife. So I actually prefer this way. feels a lot better. I'll probably carry it like this. I do like a good pocket clip. I usually don't carry stuff on my belt, as I don't wear a belt that often, so this is pretty nice. I like that it has both options. So overall, I really like it. One thing I can talk about that's not that great is the tone mismatch on these two. It's hard to see it on the camera, but in real life, this one is quite a bit darker than this one. So that's not that great, but still, I'd say looks quite nice. What do you think? There are also other color options, as well as, I believe, N690 blades with carbon fiber handles, not handles, but sheaths. So there's also an even lighter option than this one, but this one I think is quite nice. It slices very nicely, feels super nice in the hand, easy to deploy, and together with the pocket clip, it's close to perfect EDC fixed blade, at least for small tasks. Of course, for survival, hard to say, it's very small, so it'd be hard to split wood or do other tasks with, but as an EDC knife, it's quite nice. So yeah, if you want to pick one up, I'll leave the links in the description. If you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, and see you next one. Bye.